Today we're going to try to address the controversy, confusion for new beekeepers, beginning beekeepers, those that have not been doing this for very long. There's a lot of information out there. For example, do I insulate a hive for winter? Yes, no, maybe. This is how you do it, or that's how you do it. Do I provide upper ventilation for the bees? Maybe. This is how you do it one way, and this is how you do it the other. You go out on Facebook and you pose a question. Help! I don't know what this is in my beehive. Can someone help me and tell me what's going on and what went wrong? You're going to get a lot of opinions. I'm going to try to answer those questions today. Hi, welcome to Southwest Ohio Bees, your common sense beekeeper. Now, if you haven't already, I guarantee you, you will hear the phrase or a variation of the phrase over and over. Ask a beekeeper a question and you're going to get 10 different answers. Ask 10 beekeepers a question, you're going to get 20 different answers. Some variation of that. I guarantee you will hear this probably till you're annoyed. It's true. Every one of those. So who's right? Well, a lot of folks tend to go with the YouTuber with the most subscribers. They must know what they're talking about. Or they'll find someone that is a master beekeeper. They must know what they're talking about. If you're lucky enough to have a mentor, they definitely know what they're talking about. Follow these folks' advice. Well, the problem is that your mentor, the master beekeeper you know, the big YouTuber you watch, they may have in fact, I'll tell you, the chance I'd be surprised if they didn't all have different opinions on how to solve whatever bee issue you're working at the moment. And there are a lot of them. So which one do you follow? Whose advice do you follow? How do you solve your situation? What type of feeder do I put in a beehive? I know I have my opinions, but they likely differ from other beekeepers. Now, I'm an amateur beekeeper. I say amateur, I have between 4 and 12 hives in a given year. I'm going into my 5th season this year. So I've seen a few things. I've heard a lot more. So that's why I want to help those out there that are very confused. I can't guarantee I'm going to clear the air completely. I'm not going to be able to answer every question you have, but I think I can ease your mind just a little bit. I'm not going to be able to answer every question you have, but I think I can ease your mind just a little bit and help guide you to where you can find that information. Now, get any given subject in beekeeping. Any. Let's go back to the feeder. Who's right? Top feeders, internal feeders, feeders on the front of the hive, boarding feeders. Probably pronounced that wrong. Or open feeding. I forgot about that one. You got open feeding as well. Which one should you use as a new beekeeper, as a beginning beekeeper, someone looking into becoming a beekeeper? What do you do? Or what do you plan to do? It's confusing. Been there, done that, made my choices. In fact, I'm a little opinionated on my choices, but we'll try to get past that. The answer to all of these questions is right here, your gut. I got a big one too. That's the answer. Use a little bit of common sense and your gut and find someone you trust. That doesn't mean that person's right. Doesn't make them wrong either. Am I making any sense? Probably not. Let me explain. What works for me here is probably not going to work for someone on the other side of the pond. Someone in England, Ireland, Scotland, they're going to have different environments than I have. They're going to have different equipment than I have in some cases. So the answers are going to be different. Okay, let's center here on the States. How do I solve the problem here? Well, again, someone in Florida, Alabama, are going to be doing things a little different than I am. Heck, Indiana, Illinois is going to be different than what I do here in Ohio in some respects. You have to look at your own world here, your own environment. And I know you've heard this before. Contact a local bee club. And they can be snarky. I absolutely know this. When I was starting, it was like pulling teeth to get information. It really was. Hopefully you can find some good people to work with. But find a local organization. If you can find a mentor, great. If you trust that person and you really believe they know what they're doing, even if they know more than you, that still is better than nothing. Trust me. Go to your local bee supply. Type in the internet there, bee supply store nearest me. You should be able to find something close by or within a short traveling distance, I would guess. Get on the internet. Ask, hey, I live here on the map. Is there anyone near me I can talk with? You're bound to find somebody. No guarantees. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that's in a location without another beekeep within sight. However, most of us live close enough that we can find somebody. And the reason I'm saying this is because if I find someone that lives a mile from me, 2 miles from me, 5 miles from me, their condition, their environment is very likely similar to mine. And so the advice I get from them, I'm going to have to weigh it. Do I take the master beekeeper's advice that lives 5 states over from me? Do I take the advice of the guy that is a mile from me? That is totally up to you, but I like to do it more local. And I'll look at the internet, I'll look at YouTube, and I'll look at those gigantic channels and see what those folks have to say. I'll listen to the master beekeepers and what they have to say. I listen to the local beekeepers, the way they're doing things. But at the end of the day, these are your bees. Not theirs, not the local bee clubs, not the master beekeeper, and not the big YouTuber either. These are your bees. So at the end of the day, your gut and common sense is what's going to prevail. The way I set up a beehive, well, let's just say, let me backtrack. When I started 5 years ago, I had done a lot of studying beforehand. And I decided how I was going to proceed to set up my beehive. I was tore to shreds on Facebook because of my approach to bees. I didn't think I was wrong. In fact, I dug my feet in even more. And I proceeded to do it exactly the way I thought made more sense. And I've been very successful in doing it. Have I had some losses? Have I had some big mistakes? Absolutely. That's part of what we do here. This happens to almost everybody. By following one person's advice, whether it's a master beekeeper, a large YouTube channel, or your local bee club, you will meet some defeats. That is what we do. We are beekeepers. We just don't have 100% success. Again, you trying something that another guy, even a mile away, is doing is not going to always work. You have to use your head and your gut for you to decide, is that the method I want to use? Research it. Take a look at it. Is it something that's applicable to your apiary? Is it something that you can easily do? Is it something you can afford to do? I don't think any of us can afford to do beekeeping, but we do it anyhow. But these are the answers to the mystical questions. How do I do things in beekeeping? I'm not telling you exactly how to do it. I'm not telling you how you're supposed to prepare your hive for winter. Yes, I probably have some videos and probably will have some more in the future on how I approach those topics, how I take care of feeding my bees, and that's changed a little bit. You'll see that too. Things will, as you move on a couple years, things will mature and change. Sometimes you'll take a little dip and step backwards, but you'll learn from those mistakes, and so you'll change. So what you start out with day one, the bees arrive, is not likely the way you'll take care of bees, say when you're in my position 5 years later. Very unlikely. So keep an open mind, listen to your gut and your instincts, and common sense, yes. And you too will have success with your bees. Thank you. If you like this channel, please subscribe and share this video. You have a fantastic day.